day number, let's be honest, we've all lost track what day it is. I think it's day number 9. I think it's Friday. I know that it's No Spin Rodeo Rally time. Tommy Joe Lucia, Kendra Santos, live on the Cinch Jeans and Shirts stage.
Well, good morning. It's Friday, December 12th. It is 2025. We are sitting at the Cowboy Commons. Again, insider trading, people. Come into the convention center on this side and be here at 9 o'clock in the morning, and you go right in the door. There's a lot of hot deals, and there's on there if you're an on guy. I'm an on guy. Happy Friday. You're pretty in pink today.
I had to wear pink today for one of our guests so that they would know I'm the girl. You'll see.
Okay. So, I'm not sure how to take that.
I'm talking to you, Click. Go ahead.
I mean, I use testosterone cream. I look pretty manly. Oh, man. Anyway, all right. Welcome to No Spin. We're going to kick off the show like we always do with our Pro Fantasy Rodeo round recap. I'm going to kick it off with a recap of the players and how they're doing. So let's look at our big game results so far. Who's winning the big game? That's a aluminum trailer, a nice one, and a pickup. Staying at the top, I'm pretty sure, Trace number 5, Casey Estrada, with $1,087,000 won. Holy smog control. That is exactly close to 1,200% more than me right there. Congratulations to them winning that in the big game. And then our round winner, remember, you got to play daily. If you haven't done it yet, you save $5 if you're on a big team. Try the daily once. Try it once, because you can already read the twee leaves. You could weed the twee leaves when we in Fancy Rodeo. Let's Rodeo's on top, $230,000 with a $3,500 payout. And then we got to get into the one thing that I think that we need to do. And in order for me to do this, I'm going to have to move out front here a little bit. Announcing on the Tattoo League, Tommy Joe Lucia has had a commanding lead of number 22 all the way through this thing. However, as of this morning, she's getting the ink. That's what I'm saying. You are now I'm officially one over you. So No Spin Rodeo, the absolute worst fantasy players ever in the very bottom 2. And right now you're getting the ink. And the good news is Harrison, who I've been texting, trying to get on his good side because I thought I was going to get it, he has now lost the number 1 position. And do you want to know who has number 1? This is good for you. Steve Kenyon. Kenyon's kids.
Oh.
You'll like that. I mean, he'll be very gentle on where he decides to ink you. So, currently, you are now beating me in the race for the tattoo.
Okay, but in fairness, I said it yesterday and I'll say it again. I would bet on these same people if we were going to start again in round 1 tomorrow or today.
Well, in
because
fairness,
they're having a much worse week than we are if we have to get a tattoo. I feel my heart, I mean, there's no way you could have anticipated some of these things happening, and I feel way worse for them than I feel about any silly tattoo.
fair. If I had it all over again, I would change everything, and I would have everybody that's winning. That's just the truth. Okay, here we go. How about giving us your round recap for what happened in the dirt last night at the Thomas and Mack, the beautiful Thomas and Mack?
Okay, well, in the form of an update and highlights, Stetson Wright is splitting 6th 18 ways away from $700,000 for the 2025 season, which is pretty cool. He's at 699, 691. So
129 grand ahead of Wasey.
yeah, but the average is going to so come into play here. You know, one thing we haven't mentioned that I would mention before we don't do it is that we have a new Miss Rodeo America for 2026.
And she's from Utah?
Olivia Favero from Utah, and
Bam.
she's a beautiful ambassador for rodeo. So congratulations to her. I still haven't seen any photos or video of how they handled the horsemanship portion of the competition without horses yet, but I'll be curious to find out about that. I bet it's interesting.
I bet it is.
So,
inflatables? stick?
I
What are you
don't
thinking?
know what they did. So,
Okay.
Waverly, Kansas, population 526, won 2 events last night. That was really cool. Jess Pope and won the bareback riding, and Weston Patterson, who's here at his first NFR, won his first go round buckle. It's really cool that Jess 88 and a quarter on Jeff Davis's Deep Springs. Jess won the permit challenge on him here in 2018 and won his first ever pro rodeo. His first ever pro rodeo win was on this horse, Deep Springs, and he's had him like 12 times. So they're old friends.
You could kind of see that coming in the previews when you looked at the draw. It just kind of, everybody had a hunch.
So Jess and Weston were in daycare together when they were little kids. And so
That's cute.
the
Do they like each other?
They love each other. And
But when they
Waverly, Kansas loves them.
I'm pretty sure Pope was probably a bully in daycare. I'm pretty sure
There's
he
no
probably
chance.
stole the cars.
You know what his quote was last night?
What?
He's just back-to-back rounds, winning the average. If it was over today, we have a little plot twist going on there. But he's been here 6 times. He's won the average here on 10 rides half the time, 3 times already. He's leading the average right now. He's a stud. And this is what he said. Be kind and always smile, everybody. This is a beautiful life we get to live. That's pretty sweet for such a stud who's winning so much. And if it was over today, just post, man.
Humility often helps you win.
On to more humility. Tucker Allen. His 3rd round win of the week. It's really kind of neck and neck between him and Rowdy Parrott on who the smallest steer wrestler is here.
Oh, it's got to be Tucker, don't you think?
Probably Tucker, but like Tucker was like, I can't muscle anything. I weigh he weighs 180 pounds, which is more than I thought he would weigh. But he's like, Will Loomis has 80 pounds on me, so I have to do it right. But Tucker's, being from California, Tucker's...
Oh, we got a Tucker shirt right here.
Tucker's heroes are John W. Jones Jr., who's famous for being small and a technician. They can't cut corners. And Luke Branquino is his other hero, but Luke's got the bulk, got the size and the strength where Tucker doesn't have it. So Johnny Jones is a, comparable physical specimen. Those guys have to do it right. And Tucker, to see him come, he's another one of these kids here that came up through Oates Junior Steer Wrestling. And that kid, all along, it doesn't matter he's like a Clay O'Brien Cooper. It doesn't matter if he falls off or wins the round. He's the same, he gets up the same person. It's nice to see him being so successful.
He's kicking their tails right now.
Kicking their tails and is 0.2 of a second short of having a 10-second lead in the average. That's like a 2-run lead in the average with 2 runs left to go. So if he holds it together, he's
just got to catch.
He'll
right?
just sweep.
if he were to miss a steer.
Well, that would be a disaster.
But I'm just telling
if he
for all
gets
the
out of
people
the
out there
barrier
that-
and throws 2 down, there are a lot of buckles in his future. So, okay, 3rd round win also for Colton Schmidt and Jonathan Torres, who were a mix and match team. Remember, Colton came here with 9 partners, Jonathan having like 4. The secret weapon, at least half what's pulling this off here is these quick finishes. That was cool, by the way, of Colton to win on Canada night. But he's on Ren Richard's Palomino horse, James Bond, and that horse is finishing so quick.
Now, what does that mean? He's finishing so quick.
Well, because it just gets you a quicker flag because he's so snappy. He's not only flashy to look at, he's got the most gorgeous tail here and everything else, but he snaps around.
So you think that the judges can see the steer wrestler's horse's tail, but
we're
they can't
talking
see a
about
mark
team
out?
roping, Skip. But anyway, that quick finish does make a couple ticks of a difference. If guys who get hung in the corner or their head horse rears up a little bit, you have to have all 4s facing a tightrope and horses facing each other to get a flag. So that quick finish is making a huge difference to them. Weston Patterson, 89 on Summit Pro Rodeos. What horse is that? What horse did he win the round on? Cowboy Fool, right? Okay, thank you.
Comments from the cheap seats.
Cool tidbit here, besides him being a little childhood pal with Jess Pope, he was on the 2021 Clarendon College men's championship team at the college national finals, and his coach, who was on the stage with him last night to get that go-run buckle, was Brett Franks, who's an NFR saddle bronc rider, but he's also dad to Cole Franks. So that's another little...
Clarendon, right there on 287.
Clarendon.
About the time you think you're home, but you're really not home. You've got 4 hours to go.
And so Kincaid Henry and his old faithful Mario got a second victory lap. Won the round by half a second, which is a rather big deal. Trisha Aldridge and Audios Pantalones struck again. She said last night, I feel like I'm riding a 15-year-old rodeo horse in a 5-year-old horse body. And she rewards Audios with blueberry Pop-Tarts.
Oh, man, I like blueberry Pop-Tart. Does she get the cheap ones? Or does she go ahead and go
No,
Kellogg's?
I'm sure she, but you know
Because
what?
there's a difference.
They didn't allow her to have the head cam here at the NFR, but she's done that during the year, and it's really fun to ride along because she's riding up the alley and she's like, "You're a champion, you're a champion." She's talking to her horse, right? And then she's like, "Take care of us tonight, buddy," when she sees some horses slipping and sliding around. And, you know, she's like telling him, "You're the best boy." And it's pretty sweet, you know, but he's the winningest barrel racing stallion of all time. Pretty cool to see them so successful. 2 rounds in a row for TJ Gray, the overhanded, overachieving bull rider. That's cool.
And that was a very good bull riding and a tough bull ride in a tough round.
I wanted to mention the one thing that everyone saw Raleigh Johnson in the bull riding get slammed right there where it's pretty packed, and he was knocked out when he hit the ground. Took a little bit for him to come around, but he's having a CT scan this morning, and so he's questionable on his status. That depends about he's got a concussion, but the results of that CT scan this morning will determine whether or not he rides in rounds.
And they have
9 and
concussion
10.
protocols, right?
Yes.
Have you ever done one of those? Have
CT
you
scan?
ever done a concussion protocol test?
No, but I've sat with people like Tandy Freeman waiting on it.
It's very similar to the DWI test, right? You can't do that crap when you're sober,
But
right? They're like, "What was your kindergarten teacher in 1933?" And you're like, "Dude, I got a concussion, and I don't know that when I don't."
I'll say this to you because I believe you have to be cleared. If you have a concussion, you have to be cleared to ride for safety's sake. And I know of at least one rough stock rider here this week who's had a concussion who chose not to be seen in the sports medicine room because he didn't want to have to be cleared. I'm just saying. Okay. You're looking at me like I made that up. It's true.
No, I almost made a comment, but I'm not. I'm gonna stay out of that mud hole.
Okay. Can we just rattle through the what ifs because this is really interesting.
Well, then get rattling.
Okay.
Rattle,
I'm gonna
rattle, rattle.
What if means if they paid off the average after 7 rounds, these would be your world champions. And I don't think everybody saw all of this coming. If they paid it off
obviously you
after
didn't, given
8
the
rounds,
profanity deal.
Jess Pope, I can take you. So Jess Pope would be your world champion if it ended right now. Just saying. Did you know that? Are you expecting that?
I do research.
Okay, Tucker Allen would be your world champion if it ended right now in the steer wrestling. Nobody saw this one coming. You're mocking me.
No, I'm not. I'm
Colton
waving
Schmidt
it on my
and-
fans.
Okay, Colton
I'll get you an
Schmidt
autograph
and
in a second.
Jonathan Torres would be your world champion team reppers if it ended right
I
now.
know, that's incredible.
That's incredible.
It is. No, this is. This is
They
very
came
interesting.
in down in the 14th hole, okay? In the tie-down roping, it would be Riley Webb. That is not a surprise. Cassie Mowry, not a surprise except for the fact that she couldn't bring
How
Jarvis this
commanding
year.
is Riley in that situation? Is this close?
Well, I mean, it depends if you look at the world standings or what if it ended right now. So
Yeah, okay.
it's pretty hard to say. And then in the bull riding, why do I have these things out of? Okay, Zeke Thurston would be your world champion
Bam.
if it ended
what I'm
today.
talking
And
about.
Stetson Wright would be your world champion bull rider. But I want to say one thing before you roll on here really fast, because we have a change in the new Top Gun leader, which is for the most money won in a single event. And I believe, if nothing has changed, that they get a $25,000 voucher toward a truck. Is that still the truth?
I don't know. Remember a couple years ago they said they got a truck and then they don't really
They
get
used
a
to
truck.
get a truck.
And I don't know who gets
but
a
now
truck
it's a
and doesn't get
voucher
truck,
as far
and
as we know. But
they
hey,
might get a truck.
but Joel Braden Harris with $172,640 is the new leader in the Top Gun. That's a new twist.
That is cool.
Yeah.
More money to be won. That's a
Yes.
natural. That's going to continue to happen every year, right? Because there's more money to be won.
No, it's just for whoever wins the most money here.
I know, but there's more money to be won here each year.
For sure.
So, all right. Well, thank you for that Pro Fantasy Rodeo round recap. Remember, people, go out there and try the Pro Fantasy Rodeo daily. I know the boss, and there are really good odds that you could win. So I challenge all of our snow spinners, try it once. It's not a big deal. I know many of you are like, I don't know how to run my phone. I don't know. Just go in there and figure it out. It's not that hard. So thank you to Pro Fantasy Rodeo, and thanks for the round recap. Now, very honored to bring to the stage, and quite surprised that she was able to join us, actually, the president of the WPRA. Please welcome to No Spin Rodeo, Heidi Smith. Here, let me get your seat. Probably need a ladder. You need a ladder to get up there. Here, I'll hold it. There you go. You settled in? All right. No buck-offs. No slide-downs. Good morning.
Thanks for having me.
Amazing that you made time to come see us with the, with what you're probably, like I can see, like it irritates me when I try to go to sleep at night and my phone's like ding, ding, ding. I can't imagine. Do you silence your phone?
No, never.
Oh, never.
Absolutely not.
So you don't sleep?
Not much.
Not much.
And I don't know what day it is.
Yeah, nobody does. Nobody does. Okay, so first off, congratulations on a new 3-year deal with the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association. You guys been negotiating that for a while, or, you know?
Over about the last 4 months. You know, things like that don't happen overnight. I'm learning pretty quickly.
Did you like mean booger them across the street? I mean, across the table, you got Glaus over there, and you're like, play a card, buddy.
You've met Tom, right?
Yeah, I have. That's
Okay,
not happening.
just
Yeah, I
checking.
know.
No,
like
they're
throwing
great.
Tinker toys at each other.
They're great.
Yeah.
It just takes a while.
So, any big differences? I read through it, but I'll let you share with us. Any big differences in the contractual relationship between the WPRA and the PRCA that you can share with us?
The biggest difference is, and it's not necessarily a difference, the breakaway was always under the WPRA's umbrella, but we had a revenue share with the PRCA, so a certain percentage they kept back. They helped support the finals, the NFBR. With our new agreement, there is no more revenue sharing. The WPRA, as far as 6% money, membership fees, all of that, we retain all of that in the barrels and the breakaway, but we pay the PRCA for services. So pro-coms, secretaries, judges, timers, things like that. So it's a pay-for-service agreement instead of a revenue share.
Do they get a deduct if they screw it up on services? Do you get a credit when something goes wrong?
I'm going to go with no.
Okay. So, you guys are in charge of the breakaway finals now. You're keeping the revenues. You're doing your own breakaway finals, which, by the way,
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting on a plane to go to Texas. I just, my reaction when, okay, for those who don't understand, it was supposed to be December 2nd and 3rd at the South Point here in Vegas, and because of the EHV1 outbreak, you had a huge headache. My reaction when you announced that it was going to be at Cowtown, what are the dates? December 21st
22nd and 3rd.
22nd and 23rd, okay.
better get your Christmas shopping done
but
if you're a breakaway roper.
I saw a few online comments of complaint about, oh, it's going to ruin our Christmas or whatever. My reaction was, way to find a way to let it happen. Like, I was like grateful, like good, I mean, postponing and rescheduling is always trumps canceling. And so I thought that was great. And then a few people were like, even a college rodeo friend of mine who's a mom to one of the girls was like, it's our Christmas and we have to travel. And I'm like, but you're having it.
But there had to be a compelling argument. Like, I'm sure that it would have been way easier for you guys and way, way cheaper to just say, here's our winner for the year. But hats off that you didn't do that. I mean, in fairness, right?
Was not an option in our minds at all. When I got the call that they were not going to have us at the South Point, a wide range of emotions, panic, heartbreak, distress, back to panic. We had some really great people, though, step to the plate. I have to mention, Mike and Sherry Lynn Johnson offered us their venue here in Vegas. We could have made that work. Kimes offered theirs also prior to their breakaway, but none of those really worked for ticket sales. And when Tim Long from Cowtown called, he actually called me the day it happened, and I was in DEFCON 5 just trying to make something work. We ended up getting back to him 3 or 4 days later because we got the top 15 breakaway ropers on the phone. And we said, what is safest and what is best for you? And if my mind, we literally did a soft poll. In my world, a poll doesn't mean that's necessarily the decision, but 9 of them wanted to go to Texas. The other 6 were 50-50, whether it was here or Texas, they were good. And just they were really concerned about, the Mike and Sherry Linden deal would have been after their youth events and bringing horses in after that. So we made the best decision we could for the girls. They were involved in it top to bottom, and the sucker sold out in 36 hours. You can't get a ticket.
Congratulations. That's really cool. I mean, Cowtown, I've gone one other time in the last few years directly from here to a rodeo at Cowtown, and the stockyards are spectacular. I'm going to spend Christmas with my son Taylor and his wife Jordan and their little baby Bo. But I got my ticket to get there for the breakaway, but what people will see, it's like a wonderland. The stockyards, there's ice skating, the lights are second to none.
Well, and you've worked with Caroline Lukens, who's our new operations chief, and production is like her passion. So it's going to be dark, it's going to be loud, there's going to be pyro, we're going to have fire. It's really not my area, but I'm telling you, she's all in. We're gonna put on a heck of a show.
Perfect for all the horses in the alley.
Yes.
Perfect. That venue, what they've done to that venue, maintaining its authenticity, but upgrading it, is absolutely stunning. That place is stunning. And by the way, you better start figuring out what you're going to do for graphics all over it, because there's a lot of screens in there. It's going to be a cool event, and it's going to open up some opportunities for people that may not get out here or can't get out here to be a part of something special. And so congratulations, hats off to your association for stepping up and stepping out.
We're going to crown a world champion.
That's fantastic. I have 2 detailed questions, I guess. And probably, I'm guessing that I know the answer to the first one based on the new agreement, but is it possible that there will ever come a day where cross-event buddying between husbands and wives in the breakaway and the tie-down, for example, like the Medgets, would ever be possible, or is that just not possible because if the WPRA owns one and the PRCA owns one, that's just probably not possible?
So in the new agreement, you asked me a question I can answer. Thank you for that. As soon as their systems are able to have the breakaway be an actual part of the rodeo, which they're still doing their systems upgrade, we have the opportunity to have
Projected to be
those ladies
done
do
in
that.
2039.
Well, it could be 10 years, 3 years, but they are working on it. So as soon as they can integrate that event into the main rodeo, that's written in the agreement that would be treated the same.
I think that's cool. I mean,
cool. That's great.
That's hard, especially
That's advancement.
now.
It is hard.
Some
It's
of these
not fun.
people, it's like Shane and Taylor Hanchy have a baby, and Shelby and Haven are going to have a baby soon, and you start, having them
Who holds the baby?
be in different rigs, going to different directions because they're up a different day. That's tough on rodeo families.
It is. We're working on it, though.
All right, detail question number 2, or did you hit both of them?
Well, this might be one that you just come across and choke me for, but is it?
I got you.
I haven't choked
can-
anybody recently.
She's going to have to get off that chair
I
first.
have
can
to
take her out.
because I'm a journalist. Will there ever come a day where breakaway ropers rope for equal money at their finals?
That's our goal for next year. I don't know if we'll get there next year, but we're actively seeking sponsorships. There's nobody we won't talk to. Obviously, 300,000 is a chunk of change, but the goal for next year is already 4 to 450. So we want to keep building it, and like I said, we're open to talking to anybody.
It's
and everybody.
fantastic, and like a lot of people don't go far back enough to remember that for a very, very long time, barrel racers and team ropers weren't competing for equal money, and I got to be in on some of those, heated situations over the years, but it was a long time coming.
So now you're going to get me to piggyback off of this. So 2027, our rules in our rule book, all the rodeos that have breakaway have to be at equal added money. We implemented that policy 3-4 years ago, and honestly, was welcomed by most and resisted by quite a few.
We welcomed it.
I know you did. I'm not pointing at you.
Pointed at you.
Just in general. But I will say 90% of the committees got on board. Some of the smaller ones have a little trouble, and the fact of the matter is they pay the same to go. Their entry fees are higher. We want them at equal money, and by 2027, any rodeo we approve will be at it.
Can I poke the elephant in the room?
Which one's the elephant? Me? Poke away.
Thomas and Mack.
Oh,
That one's not my area.
yeah. Well, here's the deal.
I would love it there.
Here's what I would
Love it,
challenge
love
you
it,
guys to
but
do. You have a fantastic event. Challenge. You have a fantastic event. Go find the best place for it. Make it what they've done with some of these other events, special to be a part of, regardless. I'm with you. I think it should be in the Thomas and Mack. I do. When you go from, what was it? Like, I'm making up the numbers here, but 19 rodeos to 400 or something that have
500 plus.
500? Hello? Like, this is a very popular event, and so I think everybody, there's a lot of people that want that, but there's a lot of old guard too. So it is what it is.
And there's a real, like, talking to top 15 breakaway ropers the last couple of years here, there's a real mixed bag about how people are going about it. Some people are just poking people in the eye with a sharp stick, and some people are being, a little bit more diplomatic about it and feel like that's a better. Now, none of us knows what the future holds, but I thought Sam Peterson, am I saying his name? The bareback rider who's here
Yeah.
for the first time?
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of people feel like he has been lights out and maybe a few points shy, a lot of nights, whatever. And seeing him before the rodeo every night do these contortions to get ready to go. And so I was visiting with him, and I'm like, well, I know a lot of people are talking about, your scores or whatever. And that kid who's awesome, he's like, I just have to ride to the point where it's undeniable. So, like, he's putting it on himself. He's not bitching about the judges. And I guess I'm looking at, like, the breakaway roping too. Like, clearly it's a hugely popular event. And so then get all the money going. Hey, you might even find yourself at a point where it pays more than the NFR and get to an undeniable point.
Well, I thought it was interesting I think it was the PRCA State of Sport or whatever. Paul Woody's up there. They have an idea to have open mics, right? And up comes someone, and they left hand him. He's standing on stage. They kind of left hand him with the breakaway Thomas and Mack question, which, of course, I'm sitting there going,
It's a fair question.
But he actually answered it very well. He said, it's about pressure to make a change. So if you're passionate about it, put pressure on, because it's about pressure. And he said that.
And relationship building,
Yeah,
without a doubt. I mean, LVE, the PRCA, we just have to keep building that relationship. But I do think that more money, showing the value, whether it's in Alaska. I'm making that up. We're not going to Alaska.
It'd be probably just as slick a ground.
Oh,
sorry.
you're going to go there now. It's all right. I'm ready.
So, real quick, a little bit about you. Where do you come from? What's your background? I had to say that. Ice cleats. Ice road barrel racers. Okay. Anyway, so tell us a little bit about your family, where you come from. What do you do when you're not answering calls about this stuff?
What do I do? I'm from North Dakota. My husband Joe is sitting out there waiting for me.
Hi, Joe.
My daughter.
He's actually the head coach.
Yes,
I do know that.
yes.
You're the assistant.
Watch
coach.
it, Tommy Joe. Watch it. My daughter Reagan is actually in there at the Resistol booth looking for a hat, which I have to go buy one too. So we're going to do that here when we're done. Went to college Rodeo to Dickinson State. I was the Badlands Circuit Director for 6 years, appointed Vice President in 2019, and became the President of the WPRA this last March. I also have a Miracle Ear hearing aid store. That is technically my real job.
That's how you make money, is
That's
selling
how I
hearing
make
aids.
money,
Have you
yes.
considered selling glasses? Because I know some judges could use them.
Not going there
Okay.
either.
Okay.
And then my husband is the head coach at Dickinson State, and because I needed a third job, I am his advisor. Not assistant.
Just second in command. Well, congratulations. Well, so let's quick. We don't have a whole lot of time, but
I thought I had all day.
the big thing is, of course, we've seen issues
Yes.
with the footing, and what can you tell us? I mean, I know the guy, I know the people, and we know, and this is the same thing with the judges. Let me be real clear. Nobody out here is trying to do anything wrong, period. So when I make fun of the judges, it's just fun to do, yada, yada, yada. But when stuff is happening, it has to be fixed. Mm-hmm. How do you, I mean, there was around there that it looked like it was fixed. And then it seemed to go the other way. And you were at practice this morning. Here's my specific question. At practice, do they walk out going ground is better, ground is worse? Because my point is, yesterday morning's practice, was there a hunch that there might be a problem?
They didn't have practice yesterday morning. They had practice Wednesday morning. So I think to just clear some things up, because social media is an asset and a detriment all at the same time. My concern and the WPRA's concern when we're here is the top 15 and what they think. So we start out the week, rounds 1, 2, 3, and 4, getting some messages. They work through me. I then go to Randy and Ricky and the ground team. And little tweaks, nothing major. Round 5, pretty good. Round 6, not a peep. I mean, happy as a clam. Round 6 was arguably one of the better rounds that has ever happened in the barrel race in NFR history. Well, round 7 fell apart.
Yeah.
Round 8, no better.
Yeah.
So talked to Alan Reinheimer last night and Randy, and they went in, regraded. You probably know what that means better than I do, but did a total reset of all the ground. I did drag myself down there at 6 o'clock this morning. It looked and felt way different. I talked to Randy and I said, "What'd you do?" He said, "I'm doing Randy from now on." So that gives me confidence. Randy and Ricky and their team, the heat they've taken on social media makes me sad, angry. I don't know what the words are. They're the best ground guys in the country. They've saved Houston. They've saved San Antonio, Cheyenne. They do Salt Lake. Salt Lake's always perfect. These are not two people that don't know what they're doing. So for them to struggle for 2 rounds, it's not ideal, but it hurts them as much as it hurts anybody else, and they're going to fix it for these girls. And after practice, all of the comments I got from those girls, and there was girls, usually on Friday, you have like 2 people, and they just go in and walk their horse through in that sand. There were 3 or 4 girls that made runs this morning, and it was really good. So after practice, no complaints.
That's really good
I
news.
am crossing my fingers, praying.
And I was talking, when I'm watching the barrel racing now, unfortunately, I'm actually not watching the clock. I'm more watching their hind end in each barrel, right? Because I so want it to go good.
Yep.
For the jockey, for the horse, for Randy, for you guys. You know, let's just have another one of those stellar rounds.
Yep.
You know, another stellar round. Well, Miss Heidi, thank you very much for joining us on No Spin Rodeo. Congratulations on the new deal.
Thank you.
I'm going to need some miracle ears pretty soon. Can you mute the one side? Is it?
Yeah,
do you have the
yeah.
ability to not hear one side?
Kendra's yelling at you.
I'm trying to say one
It's
thing
muted.
before she walks off because the word asset was used.
Asset.
Huge asset for the WPRA to have Ann Bleicher handling the media.
Oh, yes.
Thank
Shout
you.
out, Ann.
I call her my handler. She tells me where I'm supposed to be, when I'm supposed to be there, and have I missed anything yet? Okay, just checking.
Well, you came in the wrong entrance here, but other than that, you were good.
That's why I've taken 10,000 steps already today.
Well, shout out to Ann. Shout out to the WPRA. Shout out to all the women in the professional rodeo. Congratulations. We'll be right back with our next guest.
Appreciate you guys.
Your pro fantasy rodeo team, but want more chances to win? Then play the daily fantasy game that lets you build a new team every night for rounds 2 through 9 and be in the running for part of the $100,000 overall payout. $10,000 payouts every night, and the highest earning team over the 8 rounds will win a $10,000 bonus. It's fast, fun, and easy to play. Go to profantasyrodeo.com to get in the game.
Welcome back to No Spin Rodeo. I want to throw one thing out before we bring our next guest. And you may know this happens, but this is cool. So we have a convention center here with, I don't know, 55 million people selling stuff, right? Cool stuff. A little tidbit that I thought was cool. 15 minutes before the doors open, they play the national anthem in there. And every one of those vendors stands up, takes their hat off, and sings the national anthem. That's why we're the best sport in the game, right there. So hats off to the convention, to Bo, to all the folks over there and those convention attendees. And I mean, nobody can even see it, right? The doors aren't even open yet, and they do the anthem. Okay, welcome to the stage. One of everybody's favorite. This is going to be cool. This is going to be fun. Welcome the guy with the big lens. It's Click Thompson, pro rodeo photographer and 4-time crowned champion of the world.
They should be playing ZZ Top Sharp Dressed Man. How many suitcases do you bring, by the way? You wear jewelry and everything.
Yeah, let's see the bling, brother. See the
A
bling.
little bit of that. A little bit of
See
that
the
right
bling.
there. Yeah. A little bit of
Yeah, look at you.
He's accessorized.
Yeah.
And on Memorial Night, he wore Gustafson's tie.
Yeah.
Right?
I did. I reached out to his wife shortly after he passed. I actually bought all his books that he had for sale, and then I reached out to her and to see if I could wear his tie during Memorial Night. So that was cool.
Jerry Gustafson, iconic
Yeah.
photographer, NFR photographer.
Oh, yeah.
And he recently passed. But that's
That was cool. Like
so
I was.
Click.
Yeah. That's a cool honor, and we made it work. Because when you ask for a tie, you never really know what it's going to look like. But we got it done.
Really, like, I feel like sometimes how many hats do you bring?
I brought 7.
Stetson Wright didn't bring 7 hats to this rodeo.
He did not. I think he's got 2.
That's cool. So you know, what everybody loves about Click, if you don't know Click, is his personality and his love of people and the sport are right out front, right? And if you know him, you love him, and you don't have very many reasons not to. But let's, before we jump into, because we're going to talk some rodeo stuff, and we want your take on it. But before we do that, tell us a little bit about your background. I mean, like, did you grow up with a rope in your hand or a camera, or what? How'd you get here?
So, well, I was born in Tachikawa, Tokyo, Japan. My dad was in the Navy, and all my folks are from Virginia. And actually, my last big boy job, I worked for the Department of Defense for 6 years as a photographer. And then I saw my first buck and bull in 2010, and then I did my first rodeo bull riding in 2011. That's the same year I met Andy Watson, who does this bull stock media, and we started doing stuff together with the PBR. And at that same time, there was one point I was shooting rodeos on the weekend. I was doing my Department of Defense job, I was teaching as an adjunct instructor at Virginia State University, where I got my bachelor's from, and I was working on my master's online.
So this might be top secret, but what's the coolest military picture you remember taking?
Ooh.
I mean, did you lay down on your belly and the F-16 come right over your head and burn your back?
Not quite that. I did get to photograph a tank one time. We went to Fort Benning and we did a bunch of training videos, and I was kind of creating some supplemental photography, and that was a cool just experience being in the training grounds and going through the woods. And they've got so many cool training areas there where you look like like it feels like you're in Vietnam in some of those spots. Like grass is up to your chest. And
Did you pucker up a little bit? I would have.
well, we found we did when we got back out of the trail for an hour, and all the safety guys were like, oh, we're glad all you guys are okay. We had a bunch of blind recluses running around here lately. I'm like, well, thanks, fellas. Like, you know. But
Brown recluse and you probably bros, it'd be cool.
yeah, we're fine. No big deal. I mean,
Well, what is about the cowboy culture? Is it true? I heard rumor that you went to your first bull riding event maybe on a date.
yeah. So the first time I ever went to a bull riding, the girl who I went with is now my sister-in-law because my brother married her.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. We didn't work out. But,
Next
yeah.
on Maury Povich. Okay.
So, but yeah, we, you know, as a guy, you try to find out what the girl's gonna like. So you try to maneuver it, do different things.
You fell in love with the sport, not the girl.
I did.
What is it about the culture? Because what is about this cowboy culture that has drawn you in? You have a passion for this stuff now.
I think it's the fact that like you meet a person one day and we've all experienced where like so fast you're like, if nothing goes bad, I'm probably gonna know this person the rest of my life. And for me, it's literally like a family reunion every weekend. Like Vegas is awesome because you really get to see all the people you interact with, that you've worked with, and it kind of just comes to this kind of culmination and everything. And you're like, man, I haven't seen this person in forever. Or there's that guy that I stayed on his couch for a weekend or whatever to get down the road. Or so we're kind of all in this deal together. And you know, it's just that feeling of just camaraderie and the joy where, you know, we all have the same. Maybe we're all trauma bonding, but you know. We're all together in it together.
It's kind of for the love of the game stuff. It's just like the Cowboys. There are most sports you could make more money, but once it draws you in, it doesn't tend to let go.
We're struggling the world, man. But I mean, and we may not always have, we're always, money comes in and comes out, but we're some of the wealthiest people that walk the earth, so.
That's a good way to put it. I've always said if you want to be in the rodeo business, understand that you're going to get paid 70% of what you deserve, and you need to put out 120% effort, and you'll succeed.
1,000%.
So you're a rodeo photographer for all of us no spinners that aren't here and the top in the game. How do you make money in rodeo photography? No, I mean, like, what are the metrics? Do you sell pictures to who, and how does that work?
Contestants, sponsors, rodeo committees, just other events associated with it, specific companies, you know, it changes from day to day. Like usually, or magazines, like there's still print and the digital story aspect, everything is still alive and well. So I'm always trying to find different ways to do what I do and sell it to different people. And it's just continue to be creative, make it easy on the Cowboys, and then you go off. But yeah, it changes every day.
I feel like there are rodeos where there's not a single photographer, and there are rodeos where there might be 15 photographers, right? I mean, that's tricky. Mm-hmm. Would you recommend to some of the young up-and-comers, go to the one where there's no one there?
Yeah, I mean, it's easier to be seen that way. It's easier to get your foot in the door. Like, and I posted about it today, like the relationship capital is so crucial in our deal. Like, and that's how, you know, you book one rodeo and then you develop a relationship with that community. And then a lot of times guys and gals are on multiple committees, or they're involved in this one thing. And so it all ties together. But like, yeah, especially for new photographers, I'm like, man, if there's a rodeo in your backyard, no one's at, go shoot it. You know, because then you're not competing with 15 other people because I'm trying to take everything. That's not true. But, you know, I'm always trying to get my piece too. So.
On that note, for instance, in the video screen world, in the video business, the equipment to do what we do is getting cheaper. And there's YouTube videos and there's all this crap out there that makes people think that they're potentially have a career as a photographer, and maybe they do, but there's a crap load of competition from people that can get in. It's not like it used to be to get into it. Fair?
Yeah, I think there are less barriers of entry. I found that like you can just go to someone's practice pen that maybe you know, and then now you're shooting rodeo, so to speak. And then as you progress, obviously, people kind of get separated. Like some people don't want to leave their house or things like that. So there are some factors that may change how you go, but it's way different now. Or I guess like the barrier to entry is so easy. It's so easy now to make a photograph. So it really comes back to the person on how you separate yourself from other people.
I feel like with everything evolves, including rodeo photography, how do you find yourself looking at, you're an artist, you're a photographer and an artist. So do you find yourself sometimes trying to serve both masters, the art and the old school action shot? Like, do you get both team ropers in there? Do you get the hazer in the steer wrestling shot, or do you focus in on the guy's face? Do you get the guy coming out of the box? You may or may not be able to get the action shot. How do you do that?
I think it depends on, like, the NFR is a cool scenario because you've got 10 days, and it's our job as the official for to kind of help tell the story, and everybody's got different roles each night. So you kind of have to be able to understand, or like, okay, like last night I was in the arena. It's really my job to capture the action and like focus on the contestants and try to, because that's the imagery that's going to be used. And then if like tonight, I'll be behind the scenes, so you'll see me kind of moving around, painting more of like that picture, a little bit more of the B-roll imagery, kind of showing more emotion, what happens before the runs, what happens after, or maybe just showing the stuff that even when you're there, the stuff you don't see, right? The stuff that goes on down the hallway, or the guys getting ready in the locker room, or that little relationship that maybe you can see with someone's horse, or so really focus on the announcer. So it's all the other things going on, because I know I have 2 other people shooting in the arena, and that's their job. So I've got to kind of help supplement what they do. But on the day-to-day basis, it's better now because now I have people reaching out. They want me to do my thing, right? And it depends on what your client wants. Like if you want to, maybe they've seen some more of your artsy stuff, so they kind of want that. But contestants love a good classic traditional, maybe saddle run photo, or a good classic, calf roping photo. So, and I think that keeps it fresh too. You're not just shooting one way. You're always trying to, or maybe mix it up. Maybe that's a cool opportunity. Like, how can I kind of get a little bit of both? Maybe you haven't seen, that action photo maybe this way, but it still serves both masters, so to speak.
There's positioning to get the shot, and there's not interfering with the competition.
1,000%.
Both are critical.
Yeah. Actually, this year I did it in Reno. I sat down with the pickup man, and I literally get a whiteboard. I'm like, team meeting. And we all sit down, and I draw the arena, and I start asking, like, okay, where are you? And like, okay, if you're kind of here, and I started learning like hand signals from pickup man and from stock contractors, because then that tells me, okay, maybe this is where this horse might go.
Well, usually it's like this. Get over there. Get that way. I said it.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that.
A ton of that. So
Whoa, right there. Back up a little, back. Okay.
So like when you're watching me during a rodeo, like if you see me in the front of the bucket shoots, I'm constantly looking around. Where's guys at? Like if the stock contractor's telling everybody to hide, well, that means I need to get out the way too, right? Because I can easily affect where this horse goes. So, but in that, having that knowledge allows you to get stuff that maybe you couldn't get before, or get a little bit closer, or shoot a little bit longer because maybe you know this horse, or kind of so. And the cool part for me is now you turn 8 seconds into 30 minutes, because when you start breaking it down, like I got into a whole conversation about spur angles, or like how it affects a horse, and things like and or when a guy says, oh, this guy's really good at picking up a horse, I'm like, well, what does that mean? As someone who wasn't around it my whole life, right? So then he's like, well, look at Cole Franks, and like usually Cole's really good at kind of getting a horse to stack up, and like, oh, and I've got all this source material that I've already shot, and then I can go back and do it and kind of reverse engineer it.
How many shots might you take in the course of an 8-second ride?
Sometimes it's 8. Sometimes I'm pretty. And I actually learned this from Andy Watson. We're like very deliberate on what we shoot. So if a horse is going away from me, I actually told this to all my clinic students. Like if the horse is going by you and you're just looking at the horse's butt, I'm like, no booty hole picks. Like wait till the horse turns or
bull
something.
Balls. No bull balls.
This will make a billboard out here.
Like stop. Like that's not a picture you're ever gonna sell, especially if the guy's still riding. Like he bucks off. Stock contractor might want it, but like that's not a dynamic image. So be very deliberate at what you shoot. There's a viewfinder there for a reason.
You do you ever take your first shot when the guy's still in the chute?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Do you, say, have blow by blow of guys marking horses out?
Oh boy.
Just asking.
Oh boy.
Sometimes I do. Where I was located, I did not have a good advantage.
To answer your question directly,
to
no.
see that particular.
How convenient
instance
was that for
mentioned,
you?
Have they been destroyed?
Yeah. No, I don't delete anything. So if I had something,
Now, I have a question. So, first, a little pet peeve. Does this annoy you people? What's up with the tiny microphone thing? Right? Here I am in front of South Point, and I'm going to do an interview, and they got this little tiny microphone, and they're like, beep, 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 beep. Okay, no. So, photoshopping.
Yeah.
How many times have you been scrolling through something and went, who is that? Well, who's the name? That isn't that person. Whoa, whoa. I didn't look. Do you massage the pictures?
Very little. Like I come from that DOD job. Like essentially every time you push a button, it's historical evidence, so you can't really alter it. And I'm okay with what we do is dirty and rugged, and right. So it doesn't always necessarily need to look smooth and clean. It's not perfect, Yeah. No guy is smiling on the back of a bucking horse. Like, well, not in a pretty smile, right? So why would I change that? Like it's action, it's intensity. But the funny thing is, for those who are doing that, we can all tell when you're doing it. Like it's easy. Like you don't look that way. That horse. I mean, to be fair, I've moved barrels for girls and slid it over a little bit so they're a little tighter. We make a sale. We make a sale. But
well, it's interesting for me, and then I'll kick it back over to Kendra. We hire photographers. You're never available to come to my rodeo because you're a stud, but that's okay.
I'm in Utah all the time, and we just never get to dance.
You just never get to mine. But anyway, I'll get hundreds of photos, Kendra, right? Hundreds in a folder. And I'll start throwing through them, and you can find that photo. I don't know what it says from a marketing and branding perspective, but I can scroll through 200 and then, right? So there's something there that you evidently have. Is it a little bit of luck? I'm assuming it's a little bit of luck, a little bit of eye, a little bit of positioning. Yeah. But you've had a lot of those like badass photos that say a lot.
I mean, it's always about being prepared too, like, because like during Slack, that's when I do a lot of R&D. Like, okay, where can I be? How does this arena work? Like, kind of thinking about where the action moves. Is there a guy standing here? Is this calf or this steer going to drift this way? Do I need to be over here? Are the bulls a little hot? Do we need to think about those things? Like, where are you going to go after the fact? I mean, there's definitely some luck involved, but this being prepared, and really, like I always say, you have to be passionate about the craft just as much as the subject matter. Like, you got to be, just pushing the button is good enough for me. If there's something in the deal or the subject that I'm photographing that's really cool, that's awesome. But like, if I'm just taking pictures of water bottles, like, I'm going to be pumped because I'm doing the thing that I enjoy doing, but I have a really cool subject matter that I can then put my passion in that.
Have you ever gotten mucked out in the arena?
The first bull ride I never took my dad to, I got knocked off a panel, and like, so it rained, so they pushed all the mud out the arena, and it's like the last bull in the long round, and it was kind of those deals. I was climbing, going over the fence, and when he kind of hit the fence, my heel and my left foot just hit the deal, and I just fell 6 feet out of the air in the deal. I mean, gotten hit with horseshoes. Like, Pendleton's notorious. It's kind of just sketchy everywhere. But
anywhere out there where they just let you sit during the rough stock.
But there have been some close calls. I had to do a little bullfighting in the NFR a couple years ago, that was a moment in life. But
well, let's jump into some of the rodeo action. I'm gonna go south real quick to the World Series of Team Roping. Quick question though. Make this a quick answer. Of the disciplines or events, participants, who's the biggest spenders? Who likes to buy pictures?
Barrel racers.
That's what I figured. Yeah, I figured that. Yep. I bet team ropers are second.
Because they'll buy a picture even if they didn't win money.
1,000%. I sold a lot of one-jump photos, but you got to wait till guys get on the back end of that deal.
Hey, do you have a picture like best dressed? Like, that's a thing in the barrel racing.
Yep.
You know who the winner should be?
Me.
Well, your little brother who's holding pantalones in the alley. That guy is
He's
dressed
usually fly
like,
every time too.
I mean, like
His
if
name's Tank.
His name's
right?
Tank.
Yeah.
You get it on if you're going to beat Tank, because he's been fashionably whipping your butt recently.
That's not true.
I wonder if people will factor Tank into the voting for the best dressed barrel racer.
I think that question's been asked. World Series of Team Roping yesterday, the 10.5 Yeti finale. I'm not going to read the winner. I mean, I will. I guess I can read the winner. Chance Hanna and Dalton Miller. But here's the thing. $362,000 to win first that they split. Second, $280,000. Third, $198,000. Fourth, $148,000. Fifth, $131,000. Six figures all the way down to sixth that you can win out there at the South Point throwing ropes.
Not top loaded. That's cowboy. That's awesome.
So that's pretty cool. All right, let's get into. We're going to go through a few different things. Let's do fines. We're the leaders in the reporting of the fines. Holy moly, it ain't very big. Ooh, the numbers are pretty good. All right, there it is. Fine police. Dustin Esquiza dropped a rope second time, $200 fine. It's interesting that dropping a rope's $100 fine. Some stuff's $250. So he's double whammy.
What's interesting is that the rope is on the steer. That one kind of intrigues me, like, because that doesn't hold up the show at all. So it's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just another one of those fight. Do you have a rule? Is there things you can be fined for? I'm being serious.
Oh, for sure.
So what would it be? Like, give an example.
I mean, not
I mean,
being
if you didn't have a
code.
dress attire.
I mean, if you delay the show, I'm sure we'd probably get fined for it. If we had a feather in our hat.
That's true. Okay, wrong feather. Rocker Steiner. This one's interesting. Rocker Steiner, no show at autograph session, $2,500. It does not surprise me that Rocker did not show up. He wears his emotion right out front.
My understanding is that it was a lot more than emotion. And he was some combo of having a severe headache. That's a nice way of putting it.
Oh, really?
He did put on his social media yesterday morning that he was sick in bed and would not be making any of his appearances. So I kind of saw that one coming.
His head is an issue right now, I believe.
Interesting.
Headache? Big head? Oh, okay. Anyway, $2,500. He didn't show up. And you know what's $2,500 when you're winning the kind of money that he does? And
It's $2,500 to me.
It's $2,500, but you know it's worth staying in bed. I knew a PBR cowboy, by the way, who did not sign all year long and then traded it at the finals for a handful of appearances. So,
Fair enough.
you know, you can negotiate that
Yeah.
deal. You can negotiate if he's listening. He knows exactly who he is. All right. What other things? Overview things. You know.
I don't know if you have goals left, because I feel like this is like the days of when Harry Vold and now Jerry Nelson is stock contractor of the year, here you are, photographer of the year, 4 years in a row. Do you have goals?
I think it was funny. The first year I came back from when I won photographer of the year, the first time I was living in Decatur, Texas with my good friend Cody Crawford, and I remember that feeling when I walked in the door and all the things that I wanted to do, I had to kind of accomplish in that moment. And I'm like, oh, what do we do now? And I called my buddy Steve Torrance and I called Say Kinsey and I said, how do you do it again? Right? Because once you're a world champion, so how do you what keeps you the fire going? And what do you kind of take from both of them was like, you kind of get used to operating at that standard. And I think that's always the goal. Like the goal is always to minimum to be in the top 5 every year. We would love to do the NFR, but I want other people to have the opportunity to do it as well. But I enjoy doing the NFR, and this was the first year too that I associated the award of photographer of the year with the years. Like, man, I've been doing that for 4 years. Like now you think about it a little bit differently. So you're like, okay, how do we continue to grow on that? Like, I mean, I obviously would love to win the award some more times, but I have to do the work. You know, I have to continue to build those relationships. I have to continue to go to those rodeos. I have to continue to perfect the craft, because if I stop, then I'm doing a disservice to our contestants, to our, everyone involved. So, I don't want to necessarily put a goal on it, like, oh, this is the one thing I want to do. It's like continue to be. The other thing I said was be great, and I said it in kind of lowercase letters. Is if I'm working to be great every day, everything else will take
I've
care of
never
itself.
known a world champion who thought he had arrived.
Yeah.
Every single world champion I've ever talked to still thinks he can get better every single day.
1,000%. I mean, that's the goal, is to chase the things that give you joy and to be a little better each day. And I had 7 luggage garment bags in my car, to answer your first question. But yeah, now that I remember how much.
7 garment bags
Yeah,
in the car.
with at least 2 or 3 like jackets and shirts in it, and then I knew
Because
I
you
had
don't really know, like it's a feeling.
You never
like
know.
you're like, tonight, right? That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
you do? Oh yeah, that's how I
Do
can
you
tell.
set out your wardrobe at home before you pack?
slowly. Like there's stuff that like makes the cut. There's stuff that gets
You're
taken
half
out.
a chick, man.
Hey man,
I don't even do that.
we are all created equal till we get dressed.
All right. Well, anybody that knows Click, one of the coolest humans you'll ever meet. Fabulous person, unbelievable storyteller with a lens, and an asset to all of us in professional rodeo.
Thanks, man.
God bless you. Thanks for being a part. This has been No Spin Rodeo. Hey, it's coming to the end. We got one more. We'll see you tomorrow, right here, Saturday. God bless you all.